Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to Primary Market Chatter, brought to you by Sunday Investing. This is our October 4th week IPOs edition. October 3rd week, we were on a holiday because it was Diwali and there were no IPOs, which is good. So it feels good to be back after a vacation. What we'll be doing is this is a lightish week where we just have three IPOs that we'll be covering because there are just three IPOs this week. Two SME, one Mainboard. I'm still waiting for Tanmay to join. While he joins, maybe what we can do is we can get started on the two SME IPOs because again, those should be rather quick to do. So Sachin would be doing the two SME IPOs, but yeah, we'll be starting with Jayesh Logistics, then we'll be doing GameChangers TexFab, and then we'll be going towards Orkla India, which is your MTR brand whose Mainboard IPO is coming at 10,000 CR market cap. In terms of like, again, before we get started, just want to highlight a couple of housekeeping news. One, we are not SEBI registered. None of what we say is a qualified opinion. हम लोग जो बोलते हैं वो qualified opinion नहीं है. You do your own due research. आप अपनी research करें and only the basis that take a decision. Keep feel free to ignore whatever we say and like only take this on face value as four people discussing what they are planning to do with their IPO strategy. But this doesn't mean that what we are saying has any value for that matter. Definitely take everything with a pinch of salt, not only what we say, but what anybody says. End of the day, money is yours. Whatever you are doing is yours. Gain is yours, loss is yours. So definitely keep that in mind and only think of it as a additional information and then judge it basis however you want to. Again, want to highlight, we are not SEBI registered, neither is this opinion qualified. आप अपना research खुद से करें and उसके basis पे IPO apply करें या ना apply करें, take a call basis that. Second thing, we are on Instagram as well as on YouTube. अगर और वहां पे हम ये अपने स्पेसेस डालते हैं. सो इफ यू हैवंट जॉइंड आवर इंस्टाग्राम, द लिंक इज इन द पिन कमेंट्स. ऊपर आपको इंस्टाग्राम का लिंक दिख रहा है, वहां पे संडे इन्वेस्टिंग को ज्वाइन कर लीजिए. सिमिलरली यूट्यूब पे भी हम है, सो गो ahead and join the Sunday Investing channel as well. Having said that, it is good to be back and start reviewing because I understand 15 दिन का gap था where we didn't do anything. So it's good to be back and start reviewing IPOs again. Always like that is what keeps you on the edge. That is what gives you more knowledge. As and when we review more IPOs, it just helps us to do that. We have been doing it for almost uh, 1.5 years, I think, slightly below 1.5 years. We started in July 24. So yeah, thank you for all the love which you guys have given us. But yeah, with that, maybe Jayesh Logistics से चालू करते हैं and then उससे आपसे आगे बढ़ते हैं. The first two SME should be rather quick. Setting up Jayesh Logistics, incorporated in 2011, company is a comprehensive logistics solution provider. It particularly focuses on cross-border cargo movement across the Indo-Nepal corridor and the Nepal hinterland. So, कहीं नॉर्थ साइड की कंपनी है, लॉजिस्टिक्स कंपनी है, इंडो नेपाल कॉरिडोर में लॉजिस्टिक्स करती है, जयेश लॉजिस्टिक्स नाम से. एसएमई आईपीओ है. लॉजिस्टिक्स सेगमेंट तो बहुत ज्यादा अच्छा नहीं कर रहा है पर से, फ्रॉम व्हाट आई कैन सी. इन टर्म्स ऑफ आईपीओ, इट्स 30 सीआर आईपीओ, 29 सीआर का आईपीओ है, 106 करोड़ के एम कैप पे आ रहा है, मार्केट कैप पे. सो अराउंड 26.5% का डाइल्यूशन है. सब कुछ फ्रेश इशू है, ओएफएस नहीं है. FY25 फाइनेंशियल्स की बात करें तो रेवेन्यू 112 करोड़ का था, 112 सीआर का, एंड पैट 7.2 करोड़ का है. So 7.2 CR PAT पे 106 crore market cap आ रही है, so 15 times P earnings पे आ रही है, which seems priced in for a logistics company. LM की बात करें तो LM mid cap advisors है. So with that, over to you, Sachin, to talk about Jayesh Logistics.
Am I audible?
Yep.
All right. So this Jayesh Logistics, they were set up in 2011 and they are based out of Kolkata primarily. Logistics company, and they specialize mainly in road transport of bulk cargo, and in bulk cargo they include both liquids and solids as well. And what they do is primarily for now they are serving iron and steel industries and also some cement industries as well. They have started catering to them also in the recent months as well. Now coming to their what is the core business is the heavy bulk cargo movement, and this they do via some trailers and some sidewall trucks as well. So around 95 vehicles they have on their own, which they have recently purchased in 1.5 years times only. Around in late FY24 they purchased this, and for they and these 95 trucks they use to transport all these bulk cargo. Their current utilization of all the trucks that they own is over 90%, and in FY25 they did almost 4,000 plus trips, and this was 2x on the FY24 number. So in FY24 they did around 2000 trips, and in FY25 more than 4000 trips. And primarily the routes that they operate is West Bengal, Chhattisgarh, Odisha to Nepal, and somewhere in between India and only between Chhattisgarh and Odisha. And also they cater to West Bengal and Assam as well. Now, for the revenue mix, 90% of the revenues comes from freight operations, and within that segment only, 50% is from owned vehicles and rest is from supervisory logistics. तो supervisory logistics क्या है कि जो जैसे कोई काम इनके पास ज़्यादा आ गए या logistics service ज़्यादा आ गई, तो and they do not have the appropriate vehicles or they do not have the fleet with them, so वो दूसरे vehicles को hire करते हैं और उस पर फिर अपने logistics operations को supervise करके services provide करते हैं. 90% of the revenues is from catering to routes that are going for Nepal, and this was 60% 2 years down the line. This was 60% 2 years ago, and now it is 90%. So that is increasing from them, and that is why they are being more preferred in the Nepal route. And this includes both the own fleet and hired fleet as well. Now coming to their financials, in FY23 they did 60 CR of revenues with 8% EBITDA. In FY24 it went up to 88 CR with 11% EBITDA and around 3.5 to 4% PAT margin. And FY25 they did 112 CR of revenues with 15% EBITDA. And the PAT margin somehow doubled to around 6.5% in FY25. And this is happening especially in the IPO year only. So that is one thing to know. What the management is saying, that this growth is likely because they received some higher order values. Per order values increased, and also they were able to utilize their fleet better, over 90%. So that led to this growth. Now they have also given some numbers till June, this quarter 1 FY26, where they did 25 CR of revenues, and the EBITDA and the PAT has further moved up to 8%. And they are saying that they are targeting almost 25 to 30% growth in the coming years only. And they also say that using the IPO proceeds and some additional debt as well, they are going to add around 72 to 75 vehicles and also develop some technology. I'll come to that more when we discuss the IPO usage. Now coming to this IPO usage, 8 CR is to purchase these new trucks and trailers. And one thing to note here is that they are not purchasing the whole trucks and trailers from this money. They're procuring some parts for this 8CR, from this 8CR, and for other parts they will likely get some more debt, and then they will assemble these parts and then make the trailers and trucks that they need for their operations. The rest 16 CR is for working capital, and the final 3 CR is that they are saying they will develop one in-house platform that will be their logistics app that will help to cater all to their operations, as well as the drivers and all that are working with Jayesh Logistics. So all will come and integrate into one app. Now coming to the pricing, it's near 15 times as mentioned earlier. And in peers, they have surprisingly shown AVG and SJ Logistics, who are all together in a different league. And I don't know why these peers are shown. And both of those peers, SJ primarily, they are cheaper, trading cheaper than this Jayesh, even on trailing basis. On forward basis, you can imagine what their valuations is. LM lead manager here is Endcap, and this is their second issue. The first one is one ICODEX, which had some unusual structure for the IPO and did not do very well. It is trading 50% below the IPO price. And this one somehow has some anchors as well. There is Fortune and one anchor. LRSD is there. Vira AIF is also there. Some new anchors as well. Now coming to the final thing, logistics sector, as mentioned earlier, is not getting very good valuation, and more so when it is in a SME. And sometimes the price action for all these logistics company feels very erratic. We also saw that one Mainboard logistics company, Glotis, came in and that listed sharply around 40-50% down from the IPO price. That may be some other reason, but that is one thing I'm mentioning for the logistics space. And so currently I'm not interested in this logistics at all. That's all.
Got it. Thank you. Your last line kind of said it all. If you would have just said that hey, it is logistics, so not interested, would have been shorter. But yeah, could be a good company. But again, logistics they are 15p for a full service logistics, asset heavy logistics business. Somehow I don't understand. Market's not in a mood to give any P to logistics companies, so I'm not sure who will hold these companies. But yeah, can do decent anchors, so I don't know, but I'll not be applying. I don't want to take a chance as such because I feel gains, if any, would be very minimum only. So risk reward ratio nahi baithega. But yeah, with that, maybe we'll move forward and talk about the second company, Game Changers TexFab. Again, feel it would be a shortest kind of a review, although this is a slightly bigger issue. I want to understand इसमें anchor वगैरह की क्या position है. Setting up the company incorporated in 2015, companies engaged in B2B marketplace for fabrics and is powered by GameChangers TexFab, a supply chain orchestration company specialization in the fabric industry. So trade Uno करके इनका एक प्लेटफॉर्म है जिसपे तुम B2B फैब्रिक ले सकते हो एट अ हाई लेवल पर से जो कि कंपनी गेम चेंजर्स टेक्सवेब चलाती है. अगेन वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड मोर अबाउट इट, हैवंट रियली रेड, बट या आईपीओ 55 करोड़ का है तो स्लाइटली बिग फॉर एसएमई आईपीओ, ऑल ऑफ विच इज अ फ्रेश इशू. मार्केट कैप 183 करोड़ का है. 183 करोड़ पर कंपनी 55 सीआर डाइल्यूट कर रही है. FY25 फाइनेंशियल्स की बात करूं तो रेवेन्यू 116 करोड़ का है, पैट 12 है. सो 12 सीआर का पैट है कंपनी का FY25 में. सो दे आर कमिंग एट 15 टाइम्स. एलएम की बात करूं तो एलएम कॉर्पस एडवाइजर्स है. सो विद दैट ओवर टू यू सचिन टू टॉक अबाउट गेम चेंजर्स टेक्सफैब एज वेल.
Am I audible, right?
Yeah.
All right. So this game changes. Again, it will be a short one like that. Jayesh Logistics. So they were set up in 2015, and primarily they operate in this textile segment, and they have their own brand, Trade Uno, under which this they operate all their operations. So what they do is they source these all these textiles, and they largely cater to B2B. So they source these all these textiles from around 450 to 500 suppliers across India, and they have some types in Singapore and China as well. And then they supply it to B2B export houses, some buying agencies as well. They also sell it on online marketplace. B2C retail also they sell. Also, they also sell some technical textiles like outdoor PVC fabrics that is needed for outdoor protection. So PVC fabrics and all, they also that is included in the textile technical textile segment. So they also sell that, and they also have done one their own brand which is called Fall in Love. So that is their one own brand segment, but it is not at very much good scale currently. But they are slowly trying to push it up. So what they do is for the sourcing operations, they have around 10 to 12 sourcing offices all across India, and some tie-ups in those Singapore and China. And they have some experience centers as well, where they call in these B2B guys and some retailers as well, so that you can view all of these textiles, their varieties, the different patterns, etc, and then you can make your choices appropriately. And what they are trying to do is they are trying to add more than 10 to 12 more experience centers in India at various locations in around 2 to 3 years time from now. They have around 10,000 plus SKUs in their portfolio. So that includes both all types of fabrics, organic, recycled, some BCI certified fabrics as well. And all of these they provide through this B2B and B2C players. Now, B2B is the larger portion of the revenues, 85% revenues from B2B. B2C and this online marketplace is around 13%. And the rest is technical textiles, where they also supply जैसे car के covers हो गए या chair covers हो गए, furniture covers हो गए, etc. So that is also included in their technical textiles. And the rest revenues comes from 1 to 2% is from their own brand at the moment, which they are looking to scale up. Given their tie-ups in Singapore and China, that has also brought with them some exclusive selling partnerships for technical textiles in India. So that those brands that are global partners, so for them they are exclusive partners in India to sell their products. For their revenues, 20% is currently revenues from exports, and this also includes USA. So, given the current tariff outlook, they are trying to deviate it to Europe and some other regions as well, so as to avoid those tariffs, and that will slowly come into the business as it goes along. Now, coming to the financials, in FY23, they did 100 CR of revenues with 5% EBITDA. In FY24, the revenues were almost flat or slightly fell to 98 CR, but the EBITDA grew by some operational efficiency to 8%. The reason why the revenues did not increase much was because their inventory just did not get sold. So they piled up a lot, but they unfortunately could not sell those inventory. So that was one reason why the revenues remained flat. In FY25, they gained some traction and it did 115 CR of revenues with 15% EBITDA. And now the PAT margin again in the IPO year is higher to 10%. They have also given quarter one FY26 numbers where 24 CR revenues, and we see further improvement in PAT to around 18%. And but to support these numbers that they are doing from FY25 to this current quarter, we do not see the strength in balance sheet. Cash from operations are struggling as well, and there are also some increase in those other current assets and trade receivables and all. So that is not there to support this margin increase. What they're saying, they're targeting 30 to 35% growth in the coming years, and where they will get try to get higher share in this B2C and technical textile segment that has more than 50% gross margins compared to the 12 to 13% that they get in B2B. Also, they are saying that we will get more into this defense and home textiles, but for now they are not manufacturing anything. That's just sourcing from all these various sources and then providing to the end B2B and B2C clients. The coming to the risk, like FY24 inventory risk is also there. So अगर इसमें इनकी inventory obsolete हो गई and they are not able to sell again, so that will again pile up and then the hit on the balance sheet, profit and loss will be visible. Also, there are limited number of clients which is this TexFab is catering to. Around 72 to 75% revenues is coming from top 10 clients. So that is one thing to note. They are primarily preferred, but going forward, if they do diversify, it's good. Now coming to the IPO price, 15 CR is to make these new stores and experience centers, which will done in 1.5 years and probably more time. And around 26 CR is for working capital management. Given the IPO pricing, it's around 15 times FY25. And for the peers, they have shown some TT Limited, which has been loss making in the past, and one Bhandari Hosiery as well, which is trading in the similar 12 to 15 range only. Lead manager here is Corpvis. Not so good record. Okay. Recent listings haven't done well either, and this is again is coming in a segment which is doubtful for good listing. Anchor list is yet to arrive. If it arrives, let's see. Now coming to the final thing, company repeatedly in whatever interviews and interactions I have been, they are telling that we are a sourcing specialist and not just some traditional trader. Even though the financials and all their operations are telling that they are just trading for now. Also, I see no shortage of competition in this textile segment, critical in nature at times as well. So it is always struggling for valuations, be it Mainboard or be it SME. One recently SME came, KTEX Fabrics, which are not doing well after listing. So this might do similar or might do better. We do not know. So for now, I would be personally avoiding this one as well. That's all.
गॉट इट, थैंक्स सचिन। एक और बार बिजनेस मॉडल क्या है, कंपनी करती क्या है, मतलब सोर्सिंग कैसे, मतलब समझ नहीं आया मेरे को,
So
लाइक
जी
सॉरी गो ऑन।
मैं सोर्सिंग इसमें क्या है कि उनके पास जैसे जो भी रॉ मटेरियल बनाने वाले जो भी हैं प्रोड्यूसर्स हैं जो रॉ फैब्रिक बनाते हैं और उसमें थोड़ा बहुत वैल्यू एडिशन भी करते हैं। सो दिस कंपनी गोज टू देम, उनके पास जाती है, उनके टाइप्स अच्छे बने हुए हैं, वहां से ये आइटम लेते हैं और जो भी इनके पास क्लाइंट्स आते हैं, B2B हो गए, लार्ज टेक्सटाइल हाउसेस हो गए या होलसेल क्या बोलते हैं B2C क्लाइंट्स हो गए, वो उनको ये फैब्रिक दे देती है। बीच में ये थोड़ा बहुत वैल्यू एडिशन करती होगी, बट एट द एंड दे टेक इट फ्रॉम वन एंड एंड देन सप्लाई इट टू अनदर एंड।
सो बेसिकली ट्रेडिंग इन डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन बिजनेस है, राइट?
राइट। अब वो उसको बोल रहे हैं कि वी आर सोर्सिंग इट फ्रॉम वेरियस सोर्सेस एंड वी हैव गुड टाई अप्स एंड वी आर डूइंग इट समवॉट इन अ बेटर वे देन द अदर प्लेयर्स, सो वी आर डूइंग सम
हाँ, तो डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन बोल लो इंस्टेड ऑफ ट्रेडिंग।
राइट।
मतलब दैट्स द ओनली वन एडवांटेज व्हिच यू कैन से, राइट, कि डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन बिजनेस है, ट्रेडिंग नहीं है। तो
राइट, यही चीज वो समझाने की कोशिश कर रहे थे सबको। अब whoever understands it better, then it is better for them. For me it looks trading
बड़ा IPO
trading
है, नहीं करना।
right.
बड़ा IPO है, आई एम वेरी स्कैर्ड। आई डोंट थिंक आई वुड go ahead. With that, maybe we have covered the second company as well, which is your GameChangers TexFab. With that, we'll move forward to Orkla India. But before that, just want to highlight that if you haven't joined our YouTube channel, the link is in the pinned comments. Similarly, the link for Instagram is also in the pinned comments. I'm seeing that Tanmay has dropped off. So I'm just trying to see if he can join back. There's some rain at his place. Let me see if he when he joins back. In the meanwhile, I'll just set up Orkla India, and then we'll see. We'll take it forward from there. Talking about Orkla, incorporated in 1996, company is an Indian food company offering a diverse range of food products from breakfast to lunch and dinner, snacks, beverages, and desserts. It has a collection of iconic Indian heritage brands like MTR Foods, Eastern Condiments, and Rasoi Magic. सो बेसिकली कंपनी जो है एमटीआर वगैरह के जो रेडी टू ईट्स होते हैं, पिकल होती है एक्सेट्रा, वो सब बेचती है. एंड देन ईस्टर्न कॉन्डिमेंट्स करके भी, ईस्टर्न की भी सिमिलर ब्रांड है. तो कंपनी काइंड ऑफ मैनेजेस ऑल ऑफ देम, एंड दीज आर फेमस मेजरली फॉर रेडी टू ईट. एंड बट देन ऑल्सो it's an old brand and has been continuing per se for a longest period of time. I have eaten a lot of their poha in my hostel days. Ready to eat वाले जो आते हैं. Setting up the IPO, it's a 1667 crore IPO. 1667 करोड़ का आईपीओ है. ऑल ऑफ विच इज अ ओएफएस. सब कुछ ओएफएस है. देयर इज नो फ्रेश इशू. सब कुछ कंपनी के पास कुछ भी नहीं जा रहा है. एवरीथिंग प्रोमोटर्स आर टेकिंग अ पार्ट एग्जिट. इन टर्म्स ऑफ द मार्केट कैप 10,000 करोड़ एम कैप पे कंपनी आ रही है. तो वेरी क्लियर raise in terms of like 10,000 crores is what they think the value of the company, and they are diluting, like they are giving 16% of their shares to the public per se at this rate. 1667 crores का OFS है, because in terms of the FY25 financials, 2455 crores का revenue है and PAT 255 crores का है. So it's coming at like 39 PE trailing, 39 PE FY25. FY26 का समझते हैं, and again we'll understand where the PS are trading. PS Tata Consumer कुछ लोग बोल रहे हैं, but again we'll understand whether Tata Consumer is a peer or not, because again this is a slightly niche category than your usual category per se. In terms of the LM is ICICI, Citi, JP Morgan and Kotak. So with that, Orkla India की बात करते हैं. But over to you, Tanmay, to talk about Orkla India.
Okay, so I should directly start, correct?
Correct. मैं कल से merge कर दूंगा इसको, कल वाली space.
Okay. So Orkla India Limited, popularly or formerly MTR Foods, is a Bangalore-based multi-category food products company. It is into categories like ready to eat, ready to cook, spices, desserts, under the brands named MTR, Eastern Rasoi Magic, and Work and Roll. So I'll just give you a background about this company. So this company was started approx 100 years back in Bangalore by a South Indian family, which was later acquired in 2008 by a Norwegian MNC called as Orkla ASA, which is approx an $11 billion conglomerate based out of Norway. So these guys had acquired MTR Foods in 2008. That time its turnover used to be 250 crores. From there, it has now scaled to almost a 10x entity. So in 2021, this entity acquired Eastern Condiments, which is a very leading spices and condiments manufacturer and supplier based out of South India, predominantly in Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and Andhra Pradesh. MTR Foods is the largest exporters, rather Eastern you would say, is the largest exporters for the condiments and spices from last 24 years. Okay, and also a star export house. The company has got 31.2% market share in packet spices in Karnataka, 41.8% market share in Kerala. They are largest in both these states and second largest in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, where their combined market share in packet spices stands at 15%. The company has got 838 distributors, 1888 sub-distributors, widely in 28 states and 6 union territories. They have also got 42 modern trade partners, 16 e-commerce partners, and distributors. So, fairly, it looks like a pan-India player, but if you just look at its revenue breakup, majority comes from the South India. Company is raising 1,667 crores, fully an offer for sale. Why an offer for sale and not a fresh issue is a very good question to come in the mind. So, company is an FMCG company. So, trade receivables for such a kind of business is not somewhere beyond 50 or 70 days. So, it's a cash generating business. Company has seen a fairly good growth, generating enough cash flows and approx 150 crores, 200 crores kind of a free cash flow annually. And the requirements are like somewhere around half of those. So it makes less sense to, you know, acquire, raise more fresh capital and doing an OFS just to get listed and give some liquidity to its existing investors or backers. Uh, Also, one thing we need to understand is that before IPO, कुछ 550 crore type का dividend was given out of the company from the accrued cash to the parent company, which was their first dividend in last 20 years, if I'm not wrong. So it fairly says that जो भी पैसा company से आता गया, it has got invested, and उसे growth होता गया, and the first times promoters have cashed in some matlab rather a good chunk, but still company continues to stay healthy, profitable and showing good growth. Coming on its capacities, the Eastern condiments, which had got 4 to 5 facilities, are running at somewhere around 40% utilization, and that has to inch up, so there is no need of fresh capex in that entity. And in the normal MTR brand, I guess blended utilization is somewhere around 75%, 80%. And some of that, the products are also contract manufactured. So I guess 85% is in-house, and the rest 15-20% is contract manufacturing. So, fairly there is a scope of, utilization, fresh utilization, and in both the categories. And talking on Rasoi Magic, so it's a Pune-based masalas manufacturer, which was acquired, I guess, in 2023, if I'm not wrong. That contributes to, like, I guess, mid-single digit percentage to the whole revenue. So it's a fairly large size, FMCG company catering to, your, what we can say, modern FMCG products, like something like, ready to cook, ready to eat, and masalas. So, this MTR is also very popularly known for the Commando class in Gujarat even, and for its very popular for its South Indian cuisine related products. Now coming on its financials, the company did a revenue of 2,356 crores in FY24 with a PAT of 226 crore, where the EBITDA stand at 343 crores. So, if you look at the growth, it looks at 8%, but more you need to look for an FMCG company towards a growth is the tonnage volume growth. कि कितना volume में increase, the reason being that, the pricing pressures and the inflation and the raw material prices and the selling price, these 3-4 factors, you know, uh, impact the revenues, and rather realization could be a proper word for an FMCG company. But if you look at, like, let's say the volumes are growing, then you can understand that, let's say the company was earlier selling X volumes, and if it is doing now X plus 5%, means the company is growing. If it's like, let's say revenues are growing, but it's X minus 5%, there's a simple, phenomena to this कि यार inflation बढ़ा है, और इसलिए इनका selling price बढ़ा है, realization बढ़ा है, but the volume growth has remained flattish or even negative. So the company has done close to 1.5% volume growth in FY24, but the top line was at 8% growth. In FY25, the company did a revenue of 2,395 crores, which was like 1.6% of a top line growth, and PAT at 255 crores, which was somewhere around 10% kind of a growth. And EBITDA was at 396 crores, 16.6% EBITDA margin, but the volumes, tonnage volumes, increased by 3.5%. Now, someone might say कि यार बड़ा slow growth है, ठीक है? And it is not wrong, but if you just look at all the FMCG pack from last 2 years, from FY23, 24, 25, even the biggies and even like mid caps or even large small cap FMCG companies have struggled to, grow rather significantly, not in even in the GDP kind of a growth. Everyone has seen like 1-2%, 3% growth. Even the small caps have seen like 5, 7, 8% growth, not beyond that. So, this industry has suffered, rather not suffered, but the growth was absent. Reason being the slow consumption in the rural markets, and consumption not picking up in the urban market. So urban was rather flattish and rural was somewhere in like -2, -3% types. But if you just look at its Q1 numbers, revenue was at 597 crores, and PAT was at 78.9 crores, which was a good increase over last year's Q1 YOY. EBITDA was at 111.7 crores, 18.7% EBITDA margin, which was like a decent margin expansion. And the volumes had surged by 5.9%, and even revenue was up by similar 5.9%. So, like it is clearly visible that in Q1, the company has shown a good bounce back towards the volumes. Volumes are main because, the inflation hits more on the realizations. So, now, you need to understand the dynamics at this point. Very recently, we have seen GST cuts, and inflation percentage, at least on the book, at least on the percentages have went down, and like hopefully in reality also it might have gone down. The consumption from, like, I was in a talks with a company very recently, FMCG company, slightly in a different segment, but it was also FMCG company. Like the 70% portfolio is in rural India, so they are saying, yeah, Q2 के second half, which means your August, September types, there was bounce back in both the markets. Rural had bounced back by like 5% types. So, we need to understand that the FMCG companies have started picking up in late Q2 and have surely picked up in Q3. The festive season, pent-up demand and the GST cuts and the inflation getting, controlled is one, or all of these are very prime reasons behind this bounce back. And companies should do reasonably well than their last 3 financial years, after the COVID. So, if you just look at your normal blended, rather TTM basis FY26, revenue stand at somewhere around 2600, PAT stand at roughly somewhere around 330-340 crores. A company is coming at market cap of 10,000 crores, okay? So, 10,000 pe, it is priced at, somewhere around, just give me a minute. 33, 34 times 25 and somewhere around 33 times 26 at PE basis. And on EV/EBITDA, it is somewhere around 20 to 23 times, which is, so now one will say कि यार, peer comparison कौन है? So if you just look at this company, यार peer comparison नहीं हो सकता. Reason being ready to eat, ready to cook में there are very less, rather no listed peers. Masalas में there are very small cap companies which are extremely small and volatile. बहुत ही छोटी SME की level की है. या फिर Mainboard अभी बहुत छोटी. So like mostly this portfolio which the company has is like largely standing out of the peers. In the RHP there was shown Tata Consumer Products, but like as we know, Tata Coffee and Tea, that portfolio like is like almost half of the revenues, and it's a fairly large entity. So it is less comparable. That is trading at even 85 P is what I can remember top of my head. So that is not comparable. Now coming on Orkla India, good business, generating good cash, promoters are good, the interview was good, growth has been muted, which is expected to get picked up in this financial year. Priced decently, not expensive, neither nor cheap, but like somewhere around fairly reasonable. So I won't say कि मतलब they have bought in at a good pricing, leaving something on the table. So like I feel over a longish period of time, this company can get easily valued at like 30 times EV/EBITDA on FY26, and like somewhere around 35-40 P on 26, which is very fair, given the quality of the business and the bounce back we're expecting for the whole FMCG pack. And even, the big mutual funds have started, making positions in these FMCG companies of late. So, I feel, it can be applied. Definitely it can be applied. There are two views for listing gains. Yes, I expect some listing gains. Small listing gains are fairly possible, like at 10-15% types. And for long term, only those can invest. Those who have got a view of like 12 to 18 months, like it is like listing gain or like 2-3 months view, or it is directly 12 to 18 months. Nothing between 3 to 12 months should ideally make anything beyond the nifty, return. So that is my overall view on Orkla India. Good company, and like the whatever I know is the anchor book is expected to be fairly good. This is all. By the way, no major litigations on the company. Promoters are also fairly clean. Their track record globally has also been on a good note. the company has worked on a a philosophy ki we are not a pan-India player, but we are a regional player, even being an MNC, which is rare to see, and it is fair also. The company wants to tap every micro markets of the larger market so they can cater to the aggregate demand, and it has been seen in their numbers and the historical trends and the presence. So that was overall on Orkla India.
Got it. Thank you, Tanmay. Couple of questions here. Peer कौन है? And growth तो slow ही है, right? So peer की growth कितनी है?
पियर टाटा कंज्यूमर है यार, बट आपको ये चीज देखनी पड़ेगी ना कि इनका टाटा कॉफी एंड टाटा टी कंट्रीब्यूट्स आई गेस समवेयर अराउंड 50-55% ऑफ द टॉप लाइन. तो इट इज नॉट कंपेरेबल फ्रैंकली, एंड इवन द अदर प्रोडक्ट्स लाइक इनका 70-80% ऑफ टाटा कंज्यूमर्स पोर्टफोलियो इज वेरी डिफरेंट देन व्हाट ओरक्ला हैज, एंड वो तो बहुत ही महंगा है यार. दैट इज समवेयर अराउंड 50 टाइम्स EBITDA इज व्हाट आई कैन रिमेंबर. उस पर डेट भी है बिकॉज दैट अक्वायर्ड 2 कंपनीज रिसेंटली, तो उसके वजह से इस पे डेट भी है. सो EBITDA वाइज तो ये काफी महंगा, ऑलमोस्ट इट शुड बी डबल ऑफ दिस कंपनी इन टर्म्स ऑफ EBITDA ऑन 26 बेसिस, शायद डबल से भी हल्का से ज्यादा ही हो. सो पेयर कंपैरिजन इज नॉट पॉसिबल. टॉकिंग ऑन द ग्रोथ आई हैव ऑलरेडी सेट कि यार
टाटा
फॉर द
सॉल्ट भी
होल.
होगा ना? टाटा
हाँ
सॉल्ट भी होगा कंज्यूमर में?
हाँ करेक्ट, वो सब कुछ है यार, बहुत बड़ा
तो
है वो
मतलब
तो,
that
मतलब
is more of a like rural economy player.
ट्रेडिशनल
This is more
FMCG, दिस
of
इज
a
समथिंग
urban player
अराउंड.
है
हाँ हाँ, ये
कि
डेवलपिंग टू
या ready
डेवलप्ड
to eat
FMCG में आता है
वगैरह,
थोड़ा
हाँ,
सा.
ready to
हाँ
eat वगैरह बेचते हैं ना ये.
हाँ,
तो
एंड कम्प्लीटली मॉडर्न पोर्टफोलियो इसका, वो थोड़ा ट्रेडिशनल नहीं है इसके अंदर ज्यादा.
which is bad only, right? Because longevity तो नहीं है ना तब, मतलब like that can people can stop eating it someday, right? Like you get
नहीं
such
नहीं
a
नहीं,
high
आई
food
डोंट
नमक
फील सो.
वमक तो कहाँ जाएगा, लोग
अरे
तो
नहीं नहीं
खाएंगे.
यार, ऐसा नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं है. यू नो, एवरीवन हैज गॉट देयर ओन मार्केट. जस्ट सी व्हाट दिस गाय इज डूइंग. आई आई क्या है वो आपका ये
IT 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 वो
करेक्ट
जो
करेक्ट, आईडी फ्रेश.
हाँ,
ID Fresh is doing fantastic, man. 30-40% CAGR. They are raising, like, I feel in next 12 to 18 months, it should be a unicorn. I know it has been loss making. It is into very similar segment, but into extremely high growth, like 40-50%. I get it, but these companies are off late picking up, and even I know at least 3 private equity related deals in this segment which are happening. The masala market is getting consolidated. You saw Nestle acquiring a couple of these, masala companies. One two winding up. Even this guy has picked Distan and Rasoi Magic. One another company is looking to raise via PE funds. It was last month's news. So I feel there is some consolidation happening in the masala market, in condiments market in India. Ready to eat is, I feel, fairly untapped. Yeah, matlab, India should see a lot of good growth into this segment, but yes, at least like a few not majority other companies, at least degrowth to ye diya in terms of volumes, at least revenue mein bhi degrowth to hai nahi. So like, and Q1 has been optimistic, man. 6% volume growth for a 2,500 crore top line company is not a small thing, yeah. And at least I'm talking on the volume growth. Value to change hote rahega, reason being the realizations and the inflation and everything.
got it. Understood. Yeah, so that is with respect to MTR. Thank you so much everyone for joining. This was a rather small space. We wanted to cover it and put it, but yeah, so 3 IPO close हो रहे हैं, 2 main SME हम cover कर चुके हैं, and then this was Orkla India MTR. Then there are 4 more main boards, big main boards which are coming next week. Lenskart आ रहा है, उसके अलावा Studs India है, उसके अलावा Grow है, and then one more I'm forgetting.
नहीं, ये 3 ही है. ग्रो बाद में आ रहा है, लेंसकार्ट आ रहा है,
Studs
उसके
है.
बाद स्टड्स है, एंड वी हैव गॉट, नहीं ओरक्ला ही है ना तीसरा तो.
अच्छा, हाँ ठीक है.
हाँ
So
हाँ,
we'll
तीसरा
cover
ओरक्ला ही
them.
है.
We'll cover
हाँ,
them next week. But yeah,
एंड
thank you
नेक्स्ट
so
वीक
much.
देयर शुड बी अनदर कपल ऑफ मेंबर्स, और उसके बाद फिर 4-5 आएंगे.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much everyone for joining. See you again. Bye.
बाय, थैंक यू एवरीवन.